Hello. This evening we will begin with a talk of the practice. In a more practical way. Can you hear me? Yes? But it will be more of an overview of the practice. Before going to the details. I often wonder more people who come to the practice what do they expect? You can't say you don't have any expectation. You expect to get some benefit. But what benefit? If you study the Dhamma and you use some rationality and a bit of psychology, then you know you're sure to get some benefit. At least some psychological benefits, some worldly benefits. To be able to face life better, to live more happier, and so on. It's what now the modern or New Age meditation talks about. And mindfulness is the very popular word in meditation circles. But when you talk of vipassana, something different. In vipassana, you have to go back to the early days. Where the Bodhisattva was looking for a way out of samsara. Nowadays, how many people believe in past lives? For Buddhists, I suppose most of them would, to some extent. So, practicing vipassana to get out of samsara is something else. Not easy. It can be very difficult and very precise. So we have to be realistic in the sense that we strive for this lofty goal. It doesn't mean that we will get to that point, but nearer we get, the more benefits we also get spiritually, beyond this life, or even in this life. Only that when you practice vipassana, to be free from samsara, to purify your mind completely, then it is a very specific process, and you have to exert a lot of effort to get some results. Once a beginner came to practice and he said, you have to make so much effort to get a little results. So I had to console him and say, because this is your first time, you have to make a lot of effort. But later, when you get used to it, it's much easier, and more results will come. So sometimes I ask some people, like there was one fellow, Italian, make a lot of effort, practice and so on, and he goes for it. So I asked him, why do you want to practice vipassana? It's so difficult. Well, he didn't give me advice, an answer. He just said probably it's worth the trouble, because you already have some quite a bit of results. This vipassana meditation is a specialized skill, and not easy to come by, because it's so precise that any approximation is as good as a big mistake. But as we try to correct ourselves, we improve slowly with guidance of course. When I first started meditation, I didn't think of all this. I just went for it. I just jumped on the bandwagon. Oh, ho, ho, here we go. I just didn't think. I'm not a thinking type, Consider correctly what. It's not my style. I just go for it, Anyway, after all these years, I started teaching meditation and think of these people. I wonder whether they know what they're getting into. Very interesting. Only I'm wanting to say is that if you make it to somewhere over the rainbow, it's definitely worth it. As someone once said, all the world is an illusion. Vipassana, is it an illusion? Vipassana is an illusion to get rid of the illusion. Something like that. At least something, he says, at least something. It's still something that can get rid of the illusion. And it's interesting because as you discover things in Vipassana, all the reality that you know about begin to take a different perspective. They're not so real anymore. Even the first things you take to be true when you practice Vipassana, after some time they don't seem to be so true anymore. They were real while they are useful. But later, when you know more, it becomes something else. But this is good, not bad. This is good because your mind becomes clearer. The defilements become less. All their sufferings and defilements are rooted in the delusion. Whether it's difficult or not depends on where you want to go, how far you want to go. All the way, as far as you can, until you die. After you die, who knows? Depends on your karma. Or in the normal sense, it's like good luck. It's a question of time. Question of individual potential. The question most important is the question of determination. You know Long Po, my first Thai teacher, MBMC founder. He said it's very simple. There's a road and there's a traveler. That's it. You walk on the road, the traveler, sooner or later you will get somewhere along the road. You may finish the whole journey, you may not finish the whole journey. But the journey is worth it wherever you reach. Often you don't think of it only in one life, think of it more than one life. So basically in the long run, it depends on certain basic things. You've got the basic technique of exercise, and then you have the strong determination to walk this path. And you keep the determination and go on until the end of this life. Yeah? Now the question is, what do you mean by the basic technique? For us, it will be the Satipatthana Vipassana, as taught by Mahasi Sayadaw. He was the president, not president, he was the questioner of the 6th Theravada Buddhist Council. If you read his books, well, he knows what he's talking about. You see his practice and all those, and how he teach, he knows what he's talking about. So, what is taught should be able to reach at least the exercises that we do should be able to reach in not too long a time to the 4th insight knowledge. The insight knowledge into the arising and dissolution of phenomena. From what I think not so difficult. Because if you have reached that level, then it means that you've gained the basic insight knowledges, which means that you've gone at least a very basic essence or method of the practice to reach right view, purification of mind, purification of morals, purification of views, purification of doubts, purification of what is path and not path, and purification of progress into the path. Once you reach the progressor in the path, it is a matter of further development of the path of practice until you reach purification of vision, that is the stream entry. I think this is not an impossible task to reach that level. According to texts, if you reach that level, then you're called a Chula Sutapan, budding stream in which means that you will not go to the woeful states in the next life. Life after death, another story. This next life, one more life. I think that's fair enough. Usually people reach to that knowledge, they will go on. How far, again, it depends on the determination, the maturity of the practice, and the potential of the individual. So now this determination comes about, it's crucial from the very start. The idea behind this, you take one step back before the fourth instant knowledge, before the Udayamaya Jnana. So when you start doing practice and you need the basic or correct practice, I'm not going through all the details of the beginning part with you. You all should know by now. You know? Of course you know. You know? Of course you know. Everybody, of course, should know. Like, what is mindfulness and what is not mindfulness? Do you know what is mindfulness? Ong, what is mindfulness? Yes?
Mind still on the object.
Oh, please. There is concentration. Clear awareness of the meditation object, which is a vipassana object. Clarity. First is the mindfulness, that is the general mindfulness, which is wholesome, the sati cetasika. Characteristics already given as non-superficiality, clarity, presence. Then you start talking about that because it's very wide. So when you talk of actual vipassana practice, it's vipassana mindfulness, should I say. Clarity of the vipassana object. Paramattha Dhamma, ultimate reality. Before you go to the actual Paramattha Dhamma, at least your basic, primary, secondary meditation objects, which you are told to be mindful of in the characteristic as they arise and pass away. And you have to be aware of this Paramattha Dhamma, these ultimate realities, continuously. To do that, here we apply the Satipatthana method. Kaya-anupassana, body foundation of mindfulness, feeling foundation of mindfulness, consciousness foundation of mindfulness, and Dhamma, foundation of mindfulness. And you watch them, observe them as in the Satipatthana Sutta, as they arise, as they pass away, as they arise and as they pass away. From whence you will start beginning to observe deeper into the nature of their conditioning and the three universal characteristics: impermanence, suffering, non-self, and then you get freedom, realization. How are we able to do this continuously is the name of the game. How do you go to Western paradise? Sila Sujya. How? This is all. If you want to go to Western paradise, how do you do? What do you do? You think you can get there? Really? Well, according to them, that's what they do. Of course, not everybody that chants Amitabha Buddha is there. They say, you must chant it very seriously. Okay. So, how do you get to Western paradise for sure? Follow the setting sun. Right? You head west. Western paradise, you follow the setting sun, so you go west. So where do you end up in? You end up in London. London. Or you may end up in Rome, Roma. Which is not bad, it's a kind of paradise, you know. You get a lot of things there you can't get here. So here we follow what? We follow the ultimate realities. It's all about reality, I was saying. With the mindfulness, you practice the Satipatthana in such a way that it will bring you to experience the realities, which means also the three characteristics and the Four Noble Truths. But because as you go along the way, so many things you meet with, it's very easy, you know. Okay, you say you just go to London, you just get your compass and you just head west. You think you reach London? Yeah. You think you reach London? First, from here you go, you end up in the Straits of Malacca. Now you're going to cross the Straits of Melaka. What are you going to do? You're going to thumb lift. You rent a sampan. So finally you get the boat and you cross the Straits of Malacca. Where do you end up? End up in probably Medan. Medan is not London yet. So after that, where do you go? You have the wide Indian Ocean. You probably get drowned there. So the thing, which is a more convenient way. So you take a boat, end up where? End up in Burma. Right? So end up in Burma, where do you go? You end up in the Mahasi Meditation Center. Then they tell you, no need to go to London, you go to Nibbana better. So you meditate, you go to Nibbana better. That's what I mean. You go from one place to another, one place to another. It is not so what you call, not what you call, not so direct. Not like a direct flight. Bouncing, hopping like a frog from one station to another. So that's why you have to, once you got the basic, and then you have to, what you're going to do, just be continuous in your mindfulness. The main thing is the continuous in mindfulness. And mindfulness is the determination to be mindful. Can you be determined to be mindful? Yes. But whether you will succeed or not is a different matter. Mindful, thinking, come back, mindful, thinking, mindful, sleeping, mindful, ding dong. Right? We call a ping pong, game of ping pong. Playing ping pong with Mara, with death. Ping pong. So, you win some, you lose some. But slowly you develop your skill. You're good in ping pong? Good in ping pong? No. All Chinese schools, people are very good in ping pong. In school last time, we played with this Chinese, from Chinese stream one. Wow, they play ping pong, blah, blah. Yeah, I play ping pong, I hit one, don't know, he hit back, don't know where he went. So ping pong doesn't work for me. Then I went to play hockey. Hockey, wow, terrible. Hockey, play with the Indians. Indians, they take a hockey stick, simply whack. You're scared of whacking the leg, but they're not scared of whacking your legs. So, okay, give up. I don't play hockey. Basically, you have to learn the skills. Your determination is not enough. You have to learn the skills, you have to learn the strategy, all that is involved. So, it takes time to learn all these things. That's why you have what you call the retreat. And usually you have to attend many retreats. Unless you are a prodigy, a genius. Like the Buddha said, be mindful, it's mindful, and it's like that, you go around. Come yogi, bây giờ lắm rồi. Uống mẹ à. So generally we learn, we try our best to learn and improve. That's where a lot of time is spent. Because as you progress on, you need to learn more skills. The earliest is Kayana-pasana. You must learn to reach the basic object of wisdom. Right? Rising and falling, right step, left step, right step, left step. And all this, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, all this basic stuff. You must know, master it. You can master this, you get some. Beginning is only easy. 7 things. Rising and falling. Got it? Yeah. You can't get rising, falling, sitting, touching. You got it? After that, when pain arises, pain. You got it? The 3 primary objects. After that, thinking as soon as it arises. No, after 1 hour. as soon as it arises. Sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. As soon as it arises, sleepy, point, wake up. Yeah. Then, hearing, seeing when you're walking, right step, left step. Basic things. You are mindful of it, then you got the basic grasp. And then you can get concentration. Yeah? You go watch rising, falling for a long time, you get concentration. If you can't get rising, falling all the time, then you watch sitting, touching, when there's no rising, falling, there's continuity. When there's continuity of mindfulness, vipassana concentration also builds up. You don't have to get rising, falling to get concentration. You can go along all those satipatthana objects and you get concentration. So vipassana concentration is momentary concentration. It comes with the continuity of effort and mindfulness. Then it builds up. If people just want to get rising, falling all the time, and they can get, so sad, I cannot get concentration, no progress. Not necessary. Some people don't use rising and falling, they use sitting, touching. Also they get concentration. But it's a slightly different skill, different technique, because it's a different object. Yeah? Rising, falling object is one object, sitting, touching is one object, sensation is one object, pain one object. Different. Although the main aim is to get the continuity of vipassana mindfulness. For example, riding bicycle. Is it the same as driving a car? No. But both of you get you somewhere. And then driving an aeroplane, is it the same as driving a car? No, it's different. So you can fly. Also it gets you somewhere. If everything's failed, what do? You bus number 11. Yeah? You take bus number 11. Correct? Chujiran. You know what's bus number 11? Jalan. Use your own 2 feet. That's what people do long ago. Long ago they don't. Before they invented wheels. Use a feet. They can run. Some people run very fast for long distance. And of course, during those days, they have horses. You don't have horses, you ride cows. So we start by training ourselves in these objects of Kayanupassana, body objects. And after that, when pain arises, then you watch pain. You learn to watch the feelings as an object of vipassana, mindfulness. Usually people stop when they watch pain, because cannot stand, very difficult. And vipassana, you have to learn it, otherwise at certain times you cannot avoid, there's just pain all over. And later when you have mastered watching feelings, then you go into more subtle watching of consciousness and mental objects, or we say dhammas, truth, phenomena. Generally, to go far, you need to be able to watch whatever objects that come. although there are some main objects which are easier to train in, which are more familiar to you, finally you will have to arise at the most subtle of objects, the most tricky of objects. For example, we all know from theory at least that before you reach realization you go to pass through what we call the Sankara Upeka Jnana, equanimity, knowledge of equanimity formations. And those are objects which is most subtle and most tricky. So you have to have, but anyway, when you arrive at that point, you have had already quite a bit of training, but sometimes not enough, because you need the sharpest of intuition to be able to break through that barrier. So, that is what we say, make the effort to maintain the continuity, which means that the ability to handle and deal with the various objects of the Satipatthana, or the four foundations of mindfulness: body, feelings, consciousness, and mental objects. As you begin to master, one of them, of course, very important, is special mention, is the ability to watch the intentions. Because the intentions is what you call, to be able to watch it properly, it maintains the continuity. You cannot watch the intentions somewhere along the line, your continuity of mindfulness will break. Before sitting and walking, before the change of posture, change of major posture, minor posture, and any thought processes as well, the intention or the impulse come into play between them. So you are not skilled enough to catch and pick up the intention or impulse before the actions, there will be a break. You know, even before you think, there's an impulse to think. Do you want to think? You want to think, now I'm going to think about something. No, you're not supposed to think. You're supposed to just observe. But the thought arises. Thought arises just like that. The mind object can arise to different reasons. It can arise just like that. But to follow the process, the thought process, and it goes on, that's usually the impulsive one. Yeah? If you look at the 17 thought moments, there's an impulsion process. So impulse is there. So, but you start from the gross ones, the intentions, the gross intentions, and change of postures. And from there, you see this arising in different ways in all the processes. Here we are not talking about insight yet. Here we are just talking about building a continuous stream of mindfulness. As you practice on, you get the basic objects. You will continue for some time, not very long, but continue. You handle more skills and you continue longer. So even from the beginning, when you first meet with the object, don't immediately run away back to your primary object. Try to watch, be mindful of the object. And examine when you're rising, falling, thinking. Don't think, pull back. That's what we are doing. So thinking, so you're aware of the process of thinking. So when that happens, every time you're skilled in it, the thought process comes, you can recognize it. Similarly, when you're sleepy, wake up, get up. First you must say sleepy, awake. If you know what is sleepiness, so next time when the sleepiness comes, very quickly you can see it's sleepy. Learning to handle it rather than avoiding it and pulling it away. And in terms of method, this is a better method because we'll have to learn to deal with all types of objects with mindfulness. And eventually, when you go to Dhamma, everything becomes a vipassana object. And before that happens, you have to train as you go along. Anyway, if you can maintain some continuity, then the concentration will come up. Vipassana concentration. Even then, you must still the determination and the will. So when you say determination, you talk also of willpower. At this point, I would like to mention the 4 iddhipada. Chattaro iddhipada. 4 bases of accomplishment. Have you heard of that? I'm sure you have. You're in the Dhamma for a long time. What are the 4 bases of accomplishment? First is what? Chanda. Chanda. Chanda is like the wish. Sometimes use the word desire. Desire is a bit tricky because desire could mean craving. Not necessary. Chanda iddhipada is not desire. Chanda is like a wish, a motivation. To want to do something. When you talk of it as iddhipada, that means accomplishment in terms of the practice, the noble path. And since this noble path is not so easy to acquire, you need very strong. That's why iddhipada is a very strong leading force. To be able to have accomplished the spiritual task. Sometimes iddhi, accomplishments, often refers to psychic powers, abhinyanas. But here, more correctly, we should say in vipassana, attainments. Because iddhipada comes under the bojjhangas, some bojjhanga, 37 factors of enlightenment. So it must be vipassana. also by Chanda Itipada. It's defined as the word. Concentration by the wish, the desire, accompanied by formations of striving. Yeah? And this is what the text give in terms of definition. Chando itipada, what's this? Padana Sankara, something like that. That means it's like a leader. Padana Sankara, formations of striving. See, meditation involves a lot of formations of striving. Formations are all those mental states and mental powers and all those things. Chitasika and all those energy and all those things. You have a lot of energy. And this is like a big force that come together. And this Chanda is that which is the leader. That drives the whole thing forward. When I read about this, the first thing I think of is last time when I was young. I used to follow my mother to see Chinese film show, Chinese film show. Sometimes they go and see all the sob story, I get bored to death. It's Hong Lo Mong, cry there. I said, this me. But sometimes they have more exciting about fighting, I remember once I saw a show, Hua Wulan, the Chinese general. Now these are later, last time long ago, Shaw Brothers. Now you have all those special effects. So you see the general in front there. When you come to fight, attack, charge, blah, 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 ping, pong, ping, pong. So same thing, here, of course, you don't fight, you fight with the defilements, delusion. Destroy the delusion, craving, anger, delusion. And so you follow your chief, Chanda, which is Dhamma Chanda. That is the wish for the Dhamma, desire for Dhamma, which is none other than the right faith, right confidence. So confidence leads the way. If your leader says, come there, surrender, I'll finish for you. Go back down to the bottom of samsara. So you have the determination and you concentrate all these formations of striving together and charge. First is the wish, Chanda. Second is Viriya, energy. Third is Chitta, consciousness, the mind as a whole. And fourth is wisdom. Wisdom. So these are the four. One of them becomes the chief, not all four. Only one. Because only one can be the leader. Other three can be assistant, Yi Shifu, Sam Shifu, Sergeant 1, Sergeant 2, Corporal 3, helping you. But you must have at least one. Some people have this, they're very strong when you want to do something, the wish to do is very strong. Some the energy is, these are the what? Workaholics. This consciousness moves at those that are very concentrated, willpower, concentration, very strong willpower. Last one is those mind, ability to think and figure out things, how to do this, how to get it, how to solve this problem. Those are some people are like that. That was the leading factor. So, once you get the basic techniques and you have figured out your generally take you general ông Tiêu Yên general ông Tiêu Yên. No, it's not general ông Tiêu, now it's general Ku. So different people are leaders in different ways, huh? But here we're talking of spiritual leader, to be able to bring together the group and lead the group. Of course, here we're talking not of the society, but of the meditation, mental factors. Okay, we stop the talk here today. Any questions? No questions. We transfer this. Idam me punyam asava kayavaham hotu idam me silam nibbanasa pacayo hotu idam me bhavanam Magaphala Jnanasa Pacayo hotu Imang no punya bhagam Sabba sattanam Deva Sa